We're reviewing the first win by Magnus Carlsen against Anand in the World Chess Championship 2013. You can see here it was at game 5 and Magnus had the white pieces. So we'll review the key moments of the game. c4, surprise by Magnus, who usually plays 1d4. And here, the normal move would be bishop d2, queen d4, and there's a lot of theory there. But Magnus surprised Anand by playing this move, which is not very common. Each player develops the pieces, and this is again a bit of a surprise. White could take over here. And very soon, we'll move 14. Magnus enters the endgame. So let's take a look. He has a bishop and a knight. Anand has a bishop pair. However, for the structure, we can see that these pawns are a bit better because here you have one isolated pawn and a second isolated pawn. So again, slight differences, but white is a little bit better despite black having the bishop pair. So here, one move which was interesting to activate the bishop, attacking e3, but instead, king e7 was played. Here, before taking back, intermediary move. And let's stop right here. So now more exchanges have happened. White has a little plus. Why is that? Well, in terms of material, it's 2 rooks versus 2 rooks, 1 bishop versus another bishop. However, for the pawns, you can see 1, 2, 3 isolated pawns, while white only have 1 target here because these pawns are connected and these ones are connected. So it's a very small plus, but that can last a long time. And this is where Magnus excels. He can have a small advantage. -1 should be a draw. He's going to press for a win in this game. So here, trying to activate the rooks. Anand push the pawns on the king side. And in this position, still, there's no easy way to get to e6, right? But Magnus is trying by putting rook f6. That's important because the rook is in the middle here. It's hard for black to connect the rooks and activate the king. So that's an excellent move. So black plays this move, which is also showing that Anand values activity. He's moving here, attacking here. Maybe the bishop will find a way to attack if the rook moves. So he's trying to get one active rook, and this one is the active rook. It's kind of hard to continue, but he's trying hard. Excellent move, putting pressure on the bishop. Magnus is now attacking the pawns that Vichy pushed over here. However, this one is a target for black. So in this position, what black has to do is to play g4 first. And on a move like this, you will have enough counterplay. Yes, white is moving over here, but black has some chances over here. So the right move was to trying to protect g5 by pushing g4. Instead, directly Anand play a4, putting pressure on the b3. So Magnus took here, Anand took on b3, and now white has an extra pawn. Still not a winning endgame, but a very complex position. Let's continue. More exchanges. Now we're in a rook endgame, and white has an extra pawn. Under precise play, black should be able to defend. And here, the critical mistake of the game on move 51. Black had to play rook e2. Why? You always put your rook behind the pawn so that you do not have any easy way to promote. So let's say if white continues like that, in this position, because the A and H pawn are on each side of the board, despite having two pawns up, this is a theoretical draw. Let me just show you. You have checks, and the rook stay here, and you can always attack one of the pawns. The king stays in A7 or B7, and the rook stays here. Give some checks, and give some checks on the 7th and 7th rank. So that was a theoretical draw, and the key move was rook e2. Instead, black tried to do king e6 with the idea to take over here, but that's too slow of a plan. a4, a5, now this pawn is running. The king is trying to move back, to go back to the position we had before, to come in b7 and then shuffle here. However, here, brilliant move by Magnus Carlsen. Rook here. Why is he doing that? So that the king cannot come and defend a8. He's cutting off the king. And in this position, Anand resigned. So why is that? Well, the plan for white is to also push this one. This one is a threat. One of the two pawns will promote. Let's see why. Check. White defends. You push. Check. You push. And now h7. It's impossible to guard against this threat and that threat. So there's no way to defend. The only move is here. Then you take and you promote. And this is how Magnus Carlsen won his first game in his World Championship match in 2013 against Anand. Thank you for watching.